Hello everyone, Erika here, and this video is obviously very different. I am going to show y'all my Zwift setup, hopefully talk about what Zwift is, prices and all that stuff, and yeah, it's something I've been cycling indoors for a while. So the first thing you'll need are these little sensors. I lost my cadence sensor, but you only need the speed sensor. I have no idea where the cadence sensor is. I usually put the cadence sensor in my shoe and the speed sensor, as you can see here, on my bike trainer. And I think I left the house with the cadence sensor on my shoe, so it probably fell off, which sucks, but I can still use Zwift. So this is my bike trainer. This is just to kind of show you the noise level, and it's not too bad, but you can definitely hear it. When I'm using Zwift, usually I keep the volume of whatever I'm watching. It's usually 90 Day Fiancé. But yeah, so I'll be quiet so you can hear the bike trainer. So the interesting thing about the trainer was that I feel, at least for me, unless I have something that I can look at, like Zwift, or it has to be like really interactive, I guess, for me to actually like the bike trainer. When I first got it, I was just like, maybe I don't really need Zwift or anything, but I needed it because it just was so boring. This is my old setup. As I mentioned, I moved, and here's a photo of my current view. It's much nicer, and yeah, I've got windows. So this is the main login screen. You can use your phone, your iPad, other stuff, but I use my iMac. The sensors that you have connect to Zwift. So I don't have the cadence sensor, but I do have the speed sensor. You can also add things like heart rate monitors and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. They also just introduced like a way to steer with Zwift. Like you saw in the previous video, I'm pretty much just pedaling, but the new thing that they're trying to get us to buy is steering. So once you do steer, the sensors connect to Zwift and you're pretty much good to go. Here you can see all of the different types of bike trainers that are specifically, I guess, connected through Zwift. As you can tell, I just am a consumer. I'm not a representative. So these are all the different trainers that you can connect with Zwift. There's some pretty cool ones, but I just have a basic trainer. So at the bottom, I just go to not listed, or if I wanted to use like a terrifying rollers, those things are so scary to me, then I could use that. So this is their main home screen, I guess. You can join a friend if you do know someone else who's using Zwift. They also have a bunch of different routes that you can take. The normal one that they usually have, well, that they always have, is the Watopia one. There's hills and there's like a really good flat part that you can do without any kind of like something like slowing you down. It's hard to explain, but I'll show you because it's I'm on a flat surface, not going anywhere. There's events and like group rides that you can do. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I like that they have the different types of elevations. Like I know if I'm doing like a short workout day, then I can do a a route with low elevation, or one that doesn't like, go up and down and all that stuff, and do a route that's like 10 miles. So yeah, it's really good. I really like how they have it set up so that you can pick your different routes and everything. Yeah, it's a really cool tool. I actually filmed this video in a couple of different days. So the route that I take in the next part is not the London route. So I guess we can jump in. So this is in Watopia, their main kind of world, I guess you could call it. Yeah, so I feel like I haven't even talked about like Zwift that much. It's basically like virtual bike riding. It's interactive, obviously. The thing I really love about it the most is that you can ride with other people. I think we all can relate, especially if you frequented Baltimore Bike Party and all that stuff. I think for me, that's really what I miss most. I found this really cool group ride. It's on Wednesday morning and it's only women. So the vibe is really cool. Everyone's really nice and supportive. We kind of even like check in on each other a little bit, like, oh, how's your dad doing? And it's really fun. They also kind of, when you're doing a group ride, they have different sections that you can be in. So when I first started with Zwift, I could hardly keep up in like the D rank. It goes A, B, C, D. If you're like a racer, you're probably in like the A rank, but I'm in D and that's fine. But now I'm actually I can see myself like progressing as I use this. Even when I go outside and bike around like the store or something, I'm like, my legs, they feel so much better and they feel a lot stronger. So I can try to talk about the hills and how elevation works and all of that stuff. So if you look on the top right of the screen, you can see it's like 1, 2, 3%. And sometimes, it goes as high as, the elevation can go. But 0 is obviously flat or no elevation. And for me, having like, they do have bike trainers that move up and down based on the elevation of the route that you're on. But if you don't have that, what happens is you'll notice that my speed goes up and it goes down based on the elevation. So it's -7 now, so it's going like 21, 22, and then back down again because I'm gonna hit like a light hill. I actually really love this route because I had never taken it before, and it's really cool that you do have that balance of uphill and downhill. Also, there's a bunch of cool camera angles. So there's this one. It looks nothing like me. So as you can see, this is a 5% incline. I'm not sure if outside that would kind of translate into a lot. Yeah, it's weird to say. I think that is where having like the quote unquote smart trainer does kind of help you out a little bit, but you don't really need it. If anything, maybe I'll get one like after having this for a while, but I don't know. I like the simplicity of just waking up in the morning. As you can see, this is what, 6:16 a.m. So waking up super early, just connecting the back wheel and, you're off. I believe with some of the trainers, you have to like take one of the wheels off. And I don't want to do that, so early in the morning. I don't want to do that. There's also always some like really fun Easter eggs throughout the ride. We just passed some deers. I've seen there's like some really cool like water virtual rides where you like go through like an underwater tunnel. I think those are my favorite. But in this one, there was like a bear that fell from a tree that was trying to get honey. I screamed. It was, I wasn't expecting it because I never, like I said, done this one before. I really like that Zwift also challenges me. Um, it's not, you can take the easiness, I guess is the word for it, up or down, but I've never changed mine. It's just, it kind of came with whatever the game started with. But yeah, like to get badges and stuff and to complete routes, like some of the routes that you have to do are like, I swear I've seen some that are like 20 plus miles. And yeah, so some of them, like the elevation may be like at a constant like 12%. So you're just, you know, going at like, for me, when I did one of those routes, I was going like 3 or 4 miles per hour, like for probably like 45 minutes. So yeah, it'll definitely challenge you. If you're into cycling racing or anything like that, they're doing most, I don't want to say most, but some, there you go, some races from the Tour de France are being done through Zwift. So whenever I'm working from home, I'll usually have like my work computer open, and then I'll also have my iMac on YouTube watching some of the races. And isn't this, I'll get back to the races in a second, but isn't this pretty? It looks like when I was going through this part, it reminded me of like Stardew Valley or something. But anyway, so yeah, so I'll turn on some races and watch those. And it's what's cool about that is you can ride the routes that the professionals do. So you can see just how slow you are. So I think the only thing that I haven't mentioned is the price of everything. So like I said before, there's the speed sensor and the cadence sensor. I got mine in a pack with both of them, but like you see here, you don't need the speed sensor. Or, I'm sorry, you don't need the cadence sensor. The cadence sensor is cool to have. In fact, I do miss it, but I obviously don't miss it enough to go out and buy another one. Also, that was the bear that fell. It was so cute. What was I saying? Oh, I remember. So the speed sensor, you do need that. So if you don't want to get both, obviously just get the speed sensor. And both of them together was $60. So the bike trainer is a bit different because they range in so many prices, from pretty affordable all the way up to like $600 or something like that. The higher prices, you're looking at like the smart trainers and all of that stuff, but mine was about 115. I do have some problems with it, but nothing too crazy that would make me want to go and quickly buy another one. I think the issues that I was having were user error, where I kind of had my bike in a bit too tight, which I think is understandable. So And yeah, so I think what's left is Zwift. So I believe Zwift is like 15 bucks a month. So, you know, just your standard monthly payment thing. I know that they're always updating and doing all of that. So, while it does have like some UI problems, I think it's pretty good. I think my biggest complaint, especially if you're using Zwift on a desktop computer, that you can't change your route once you've started. And by that, I mean you can't like change environments. Like I couldn't go from here and go to like the London route. It shuts the whole thing down and makes you load it all up again. And as you saw, the load up, you have to, you know, connect the sensors to it again. You got to go through the login and all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my only major complaint. You can, however, you may have seen it, like it'll come up and ask if you want to change direction. So that is possible. That's pretty cool, but I learned that if you're trying to complete a route, you don't change anything, you just kind of go with wherever it takes you. So if you didn't know that and you do have Zwift, do not feel alone. It did take me a while to figure out why I was going the correct badge, you know, mileage or whatever, and I would never finish. It was because I was like changing the directions and all that stuff. So what we have here is, I'm not sure of like the verbiage of it, but it's kind of like a ranking of going a specific part. I think that Stravia has this sort of thing where it's like who can do this route or this section of it kind of the fastest. Obviously, it is not me. So, but those parts where they do have these kind of time trials, I think is what they're called. They're always, or the ones that I've run into are challenging. And like you can see here, we have an incline and I am going very slowly. And it's not to say that I'm not pedaling hard, because I can tell I'm going on the right. You can see my name, E. Lee, and it has like the stats and stuff. So I'm trying, but I'm no professional racer, and I'm totally okay with the speed that I go. The next section of this, I do want to show you how rides look once you finish them, and that includes the outfit change. So we made it up the hill, we finished this, and yay, we are now, so this is the London route. So before I got a new jersey and all of that, so we're actually going to start on another time trial, I guess, and yeah. So wrapping up the video, if you have stayed this long, I am very proud of you. You're doing a great job. And I don't know, I'm trying to be motivational, but that's all I got. This has been a very fun video to make. but also challenging. I apologize that it's kind of glitchy in some places. It's my first time using this software, and yeah, every one of these videos I am learning. So as you can see, I just got a badge for the London flat route. I think the flat routes are probably my favorite. So at the end of the ride, you can see your stats and everything. If you do have the cadence sensor, it goes into more detail. But like I said, I lost mine, so I don't have it. So in the garage, you can see different ways to edit your avatar. There's a ton of levels, and I'm already a little nervous because I'm at level 8, and the more levels you go, the slower it brings you to another level. So 8 already feels like it's taking a very long time to complete. So as I said before, thank you so much for riding Zwift with me today. If any of y'all are on Zwift and you wanna ride together, definitely hit me up. I'm always looking for Zwift friends and all of that. And yeah, stay safe, everyone.